welcome back to my craft cave. This is Courtney, your plaid-clad librarian, and I am here today to solve all of your problems, because I know that one of the biggest challenges that we have in our lives today is the lack of pom-poms. I know, it's tragic. The number of times I go through my day and thinking, oh, if only I had a pom-pom. Well, today we're going to make them. And actually today I'm going to show you 3 different ways to make pom-poms. They're all actually quite fun and quite easy. I love making pom-poms, not as obsessively as I just pretended to, but you know. The thing though is, they're very messy, okay? this is a messy one. Method number 1 is the cardboard method. This is to use a pom-pom form. Now you can purchase those yourself or you can make some out of cardboard. I literally ripped this off of a box about 5 minutes ago. What we are going to do is we are going to make a moon shape. So a half circle for starters, and it's going to be a chonky half circle. You're going to do a big eye like that, just like so. And we're going to give it some feet, and you're going to make kind of like a rainbow out of it. Okay? Just like that. Then we're going to do the same exact thing, but in the opposite direction. And you're going to have the arches of the rainbows touch. That is very important. I promise. See? Like that. So they're overlapping here, and you want that to happen. What we're going to do is we're going to cut it off and make sure that you do not cut past those marks. You want to keep this one solid piece all together. So let's cut that up. There we go. I cut mine up. It is not pretty, and it does not need to be pretty. What we are going to do is we're going to take some yarn. So for this pom-pom, let's go with the big guy. I'm going to take some length of yarn, and I'm going to actually make this pretty long because I have a goal in mind. You can do whatever length you want, but you do want it to be probably about a foot long. You can do longer than that, as I'll show you why I'm doing longer later, but at least a foot long. You're going to take this piece of string, and you're going to lay it right at the junction, about halfway mark for that string. Now we're going to take our form and we're going to fold it in half right around the string. You're going to need a lot of yarn, so don't cut off a piece yet because you're going to just decide on how long this piece of yarn is going to be after. What we're going to do is I'm just going to take a bit of the string and hold it down with my thumb, and I'm going to start wrapping the yarn around the form. While you do this, be careful not to get your inside string caught up in this, because we need that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my inside string and I'm going to wrap it around one leg of my form pretty high up, because I don't want it to get caught up in the rest of this nonsense. And hopefully that'll keep it kind of out of my way. And then I'll be able to unwrap it later however I need to. Oh, that's a lot easier. Now, the more yarn you put around your form, the bigger your pom-pom is going to be. And I think I want a pretty decently sized pom-pom. Alright, I have a monster wrapped around my form, and that's exactly what I want it to do. So I'm going to cut off the extra there and make sure that I get my end strings nice and clear. So I have one on each side. And this part is kind of tricky because you're working against all of this yarn. It's very, very thick. See how many layers I have on that? There's so many. But what we're going to do is we're going to tie on the top. So on the top arch, we're going to take my end strings and I am going to tie them as tight as I possibly can. Just like that. See, I'm going to do it really tight because this is the core of your pom-pom, and you're gonna wanna make sure you knot it. It might take a few tries to get a really nice tight one, but do your best. Okay, I think that's good. So I have it tied on pretty tightly. There he is. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take some scissors and I'm gonna start cutting along the inside of this mold until I can get the pom-pom out. This might take some time and some patience. That is okay. Some scissors are really good and they snip right on through. Others, not so much. Just keep working at it. It's one of those things that takes patience. And it does not have to be pretty. We're going to fix up any of these weird ends at the very end of this. You can see as I'm cutting away, it's just making like this blossom of yarn just spread out. It's like a firework. I think that's kind of why I like making pom-poms. It's like a yarn firework. There we go. And because this is made out of cardboard, I'm just gonna rip this form off. Yeah. Oh no, I made a mess. Now when you get it off of the form, if it's still really loose, no worries, you still have your end strings and you can tie it on tight again so that you get a nice good shape. All right, now we can foof it up a little bit, and right there you have a really janky looking pom-pom, but this is where it starts to get pretty messy. So we're going to take our scissors and we're going to start snipping away at the ends of this yarn until you get it down to a size that you like and that you want to work with. And if you make it too small, that's okay. Just try again, or you can shave the rest of the pom-pom so that it matches up. It does take a while to cut away at all these extra strings. Now, when you are cutting, make sure you do not cut off these end strings, because I'm going to use that for something in a little bit. So I first started off by getting my pom-pom down to size so that most of the strings are even. And then I'm going to give it some foofing. And look at how much is, just sitting here. And that's normal. It's normal to have a lot of leftover string that you're not using, that you cut off. So I'm gonna foof it up a bit, make sure that it's all foofied. And you can see it's still kind of a bit jagged. I think it looks kind of cute just right there, but we're gonna just clean up the edges a little bit. Make it nice and tidy. It certainly helps if you have nice sharp scissors to do this with. And if that is the case, please be careful using nice sharp scissors. The more you cut off, the more dense the pom-pom is going to be. But there's another way that we can help make it very foofy. So you can take a fine tooth comb and you can brush your pom-pom. And you're gonna wanna do this gently. What this does is it breaks up the fibers in the yarn and makes them very fuzzy. Because yarn is not just one string, it's many strings all twisted together to make a stronger strand together. And when we're brushing it, we're breaking up those strings, we're frizzing them out, and it makes us a pom-pom that is just really fuzzy and fun looking. And then you just want to cut off some extra bits because sometimes it can bring out some pieces of string that were really stuck in there. Shave it off a bit, give it a bit of a haircut, and you have a cool looking pom-pom. All right, so you can see the difference. That is the side that we brushed off, and this is the side that we did not. So we have a fuzzy-headed one, and on the other side, it's a bit more natural, so you can kind of see the difference on those. I'm just gonna finish off this side so that we have a cohesive pom-pom. That's one down, and let's go on to method number 2. And for this one, we need a fork. This works in a very similar method as the other one, and frankly, all 3 of these methods work in the same way. So we're going to start off with our lead, our end pieces, and again, I'm going to make it pretty long, but same as the other way before, you want it at least a foot in length, but I'm making it extra long for reasons. Now, our fork is going to act as the form for this, so we're going to go about halfway for the inside string. There we go. And we're going to thread it through the middle tongue of the fork. One side, I think I'm going to wrap it around the handle because that way it'll keep out of my way. And the other end is going to be free. So now we're going to just do like the other one. And we're going to take some string. We're not going to take it off of the ball just yet. And I'm going to, I think I'll hold it on this end of the fork, and I'm going to hold down just a little bit of the string, and I'm going to start wrapping around. Oh, okie dokie. I'm just going to unravel my end strings here. And get that out of the way. And just like last time, we are going to tie this up super tight. Now, once again, making sure that you do not cut off your end strings, we are going to start hacking away at this bundle of string right here. At the end of it, your fork should just come free. Fly free, little friend, fly free. And just like last time, cut off the extra bits. I think that the best way to cut down on a pom-pom is to start on one side and then follow the curve of the ball all the way around, or at least until you're satisfied that you have it. And that's just a good way to shape it. I mean, this thing is round, you know? If you just cut straight lines, it's gonna be a square, and that doesn't really work for a pom-pom. Although, you could make a cube pom-pom. That might be cool. So we're just going to take our time and be patient with this. Work your way around, cut down where you think you need to, and just do your best with it. It's okay. I mean, it's just string. If you mess up, you can always do this again. It's not a big deal. Again, this is something that you do not want to rush. Take your time with it. I kind of find it relaxing because you just take little pieces off. It's not something to rush. Honestly, it's really hard to rush unless you've got like some rockin' great scissors that can just chop these guys up real fast. Like, it's something that forces you to take some time, and that's nice. It's nice to slow down sometimes. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna keep this one nice and rough. I kind of like the way that it looks. Again, it kind of reminds me of a calico cat, and I'm enjoying that. So that is method number 2. There we go. And on for the last one. I'm going to use that string and fingers. Again, just like with the other 2, you know, the methods are all exactly the same. Let's be totally honest. You're just using different forms. Now I have my end string, and it's going to work just like the other ones do. We're going to first take the end of this, and I'm actually going to wrap it around my wrist because it keeps the ends out of my way. We know how annoying that is. Then I'm going to put it in between my 2 fingers, my middle and ring finger right there. And honestly, I'm going to just wrap it around one of my fingers so that just stays out of the way. It's so annoying. Now, you can do however many fingers that you want. The more fingers that you have, the bigger of a pom-pom you potentially can have. I'm just going to do 3 fingers, and I'm going to start wrapping string around there. Caution with this one. You do not want to wrap so tightly that your fingers lose circulation. In fact, I'm going to be wrapping this pretty gently because I like feeling the tips of my fingers. I also like not giving myself, damage. That's not helpful at all. But this is the easiest way, in my opinion. Oh, there's a string and knot in here. Oh well, whatever. It's just a pom-pom. It'll probably get cut off in the end anyway, so no big deal. Speaking of, if you have multiple colors that you want to put onto your pom-pom, you can either tie it at the end of a line or just cut a piece off and then start a new line. No big deal. Pom-poms are super, super versatile. Anyway, I do honestly think that this is the easiest way to make pom-poms. I think it's the best way to keep the end strings out of your way and to just, you don't need any special tools for it. You can just do it on your own, very, very quick, and you're good to go. I think I have properly used up all of the really cute yarn on that roll. The rest of this is actually, I don't like it. So I'm gonna say we're done. I'm gonna unstring the middle string that was wrapped around my finger, and I can still move my hand pretty well. In fact, at this point, I'm just gonna slip my fingers right on out of there. So much easier, right? And I'm going to take the inside strings and, surprisingly or not, we're going to tie it up nice and tight. And just like the other ones, time to cut. I think that this is also the easiest way to do it because you are not working around a form while you're trying to cut it off. And it gives you this kind of like tunnel of yarn to work your way through, and it's just so much faster. Now, I'm sure you have noticed that this guy is a bit of a monster. Look at him. He's so big and fluffy. I used to like to make jellyfish with these guys. I thought that they were funny. I would tie a whole bunch of extra strings onto the bottom of it and just have them wobble around. That is not why I've been keeping on these strings. That's for something else completely different. Because surprisingly, we're going to make something practical out of them. Time to cut! Here's my little monster of a foofy pom-pom ball. As you can see, I did not cut it down very, very much. I just kind of shaped it. I wanted it to be very thready and just kind of fun. This is the kind of pom-pom that would just be perfect on top of like a pom-pom hat, wouldn't it? Just like sitting on top of your head. And you can see it is much bigger than our other two that we made. And that's okay. Each one's kind of different. So again, this one was used with a comb to make it nice and dense and fuzzy. This one was a bit more natural, and this one was just big and stringy. And now at the end of your pom-pom journey, I know that you're all converted. That before, at the beginning of this video, you were like, Courtney, I never think about how I want pom-poms in my life. But now you're like, I must have them all the time. What can you do with the pom-pom? First of all, they're just fun to play with. They're kind of a nice stress reliever. Depending on what kind of yarn you use, you can make them really nice and soft. And if you remember a few months ago, I taught you all how to make a pom-pom shooter. This guy, right here. This is a pom-pom shooter. You stick the pom-pom in there, you have a balloon back here that you get to pull out and the pom-pom flies out. But let's say you didn't have any pom-poms. Well, now you know how to make pom-poms. No excuses. Again, you can put these on top of a hat and be adorable. Or tie them to things. You can make a whole bunch of these and tie them together and like make a rug or a pillow, whatever. Or the reason that I specifically wanted to have long strings on the bottom of my pom-pom is because I'm reading a book for the In the Margins book club, and I need something to keep my place. Oh, look how fortunate it is that I have a very long string to sit on top of my book, and maybe I have multiple places that I want to keep tabs on. I now have a really cute bookmark. It's adorable. So enjoy your pom-poms and now your pom-pom bookmarks. And if you are a lover of young adult literature and you live in Addison, you can sign up for In the Margins book club. This is a very cool, very special book club. and you no longer have to be a teenager for it, which I'm thrilled about. You just have to enjoy young adult literature and participate. How it works is you will sign up, and when you get your book, it comes in a bag with the book and a few little cool trinkets and a cool fancy pen, because I like pens. And while you read the book, you are actually going to write inside the book. And while you're reading, you're going to comment. As you see things, you can comment, you can draw, scribble, do anything you'd like. But the idea is that while you're reading, you're writing in your comment, just kind of like in a book club. You're going to talk about the book, but in this case, you talk about the book in the book. Then you return the book to the library, just like a normal library book. We will then give that book to someone else who will then add their comments on, and they might add thoughts and ideas onto your comments, and after a while it's just going to be a big pile of everybody's reading comments and ideas and thoughts and things. So it's kind of like a social distance book club, and I am very, very excited about it. Books are chosen at random, so you don't know what you're going to get. One day it might be like a middle school, adventure, science fiction type of thing. And the next time you do it, it's a horror romance. Ooh. It could be absolutely anything. And that's what makes it quite fun. You may not particularly like a book, but that's okay. You can comment about how you don't like the book. That's perfectly okay and part of the entire thing. And books are constantly shifting in and out, and it's very, very fun. I go through every single book that comes back, and I look at the comments and I see what people wrote, and it's very exciting. So please join, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I have been enjoying it. One thing to note is that books will be available to pick up at the library or can be delivered straight to you if you live in Addison. Furthermore, you do not even need a library card to sign up. These books are not actually checked out to your account. They're something completely separate. So you will not be getting your next In the Margins bag until you return your book. And it's limited to one book a month. So feel free to sign up for that at the link here. And I hope that you do, because I'm very excited about it. And if not, I hope you make pom-poms. Feel free to take pictures and share pictures of your cool pom-poms and what you use them for. Did you make them a bookmark, or did you do something different completely? Did you just, make a whole bunch of them and toss them around for your cat? Because I wish I had a cat. Please send pictures and videos of your cat playing with pom-poms so that I can enjoy that. And for now, I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Bye-bye.